Hi everyone, welcome back for part 6. In this one we're going to be getting into animation. So this is going to be a fun one. It's probably going to be a lot longer than the other ones. It's got to cover a lot of stuff, so grab a coffee or beer. Alright, so we have the rigged baby character now, and we're going to start to add some motion and keyframes to him. First off, I'm just going to organize this because I think it's really important. We got the baby and the baby layers. We'll just make folders here for comps, one for graphics and one for voiceover. Yeah. Okay, so just put the comps in the comp folder and the graphics in the graphic folder. And we'll import one more asset, and before I do that though, I'm going to just show you the clip we're going to animate. It's right here. I've included it in the project files. It's called Baby Shot H264. So let's just take a look at this. So that's what we're going to emulate. So let's get started. For the VO, let's just add this Baby Shot H264 right into our project, because we're going to use it just for the sound. So you can drag and drop right into that folder. That's another way of importing. So let's go to the main by clicking here to the main comp. And if you haven't done so already, drop the baby into the main comp. This is called nesting. And it's really powerful when it comes to After Effects' capabilities. So I'm just gonna have this as reference as we go. You'll notice that the baby is sitting in the room, but he's kind of like on the floor. So I zoomed the room in quite far so that it looks like he's just a little baby on the floor. So let's start by doing that. Click the background, the room, and hit S for scale, and just scale it up so that this line is kind of in the middle. I think this looks actually better. He's a little big. Maybe that's why I went in further. Let's just go right into where I was, right about here. Have the baby sitting there. Yeah, so that's good. You'll see it's pixelated a bit, but I'll show you how to fix that after. That's another tutorial. So now we'll jump into the baby comp. So double click that, and let's just take a look at this again. We got a couple things going on here. The camera's zooming in a bit. And the baby, his arms are going up, and his head is kind of going up and down as well, and his eyes are blinking. And then when he says, "Oh yeah," his head tilts back and forth, and his hair springs a bit too, as well as his mouth changes. So let's start by, we'll do the zoom in last, but we'll start with the arms and the eyes blinking. So to do that, well, you'll notice first off I made a mistake to do this shot. The arm is the wrong way. He's kind of raising the roof, if you will. So this arm's not going to work how it is, but that's okay. This is actually the mistake I made when I did it originally, and instead of going back in and redrawing it, what you can do is just click the left arm here and hit scale S, and unclick this chain link. The chain link keeps these two numbers the same, so it scales in relation to each other. We want to actually reverse this arm so it looks like more like this one. So if you just unclick that and add a minus in front of the 100 by hitting the minus sign, you'll see that it basically just flips it. So I use this quite a bit when I'm when I have to just flip an object. So let's go to rotate now and bring the arm up. So now it's more like the animation. Yeah. So that's good. I just noticed I drew his arms way longer in this one. That's okay. So let's start animating. This is your timeline, and these blue bars here represent if the layer is active. So if I move this to here and just drag, scrub, it's called scrubbing, scrub the timeline, you'll see that the arm disappears right there. And that's because it's not active anymore. So keep that in mind, that's what these bars mean. They're usually color coded depending on what kind of media it is, but these are all the same. These are all Illustrator, so it's all bluish, purple or whatever. So to animate the arms going up like what we did there, we can just hit R for rotate, and this little stopwatch is a keyframe. So we'll hit a keyframe on here, and let's open up the right arm and hit R for rotation and click the stopwatch, and you'll see it adds a little bit of space here and puts a diamond, and the diamond is a keyframe. Let's zoom in. Plus is to zoom in, and you'll see the time code changing here because when we were zoomed out to 2 minutes, it's if I do a change here, so I'll just show you. Let's move the left arm down now. Oh, this is over time, right? So we got 0 and somewhere at 1 second 17 frames. We have the arm moved down, and let's do that for this one as well and rotate this guy down. And you'll notice that if I preview this, if you hit 0, it does a RAM preview, and that's playing real time. So his arms are like going down really slowly, and that's not what we want. So let's zoom in and let's move these more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames. So it's going like that. Let's try RAM preview. Yeah, so he's going about the right speed now. So what we need to do now is grab the voiceover and put it into our composition. So open up the voiceover and drag it into the project. Just turn off the eye because we don't want to see it, we just want to hear it. And we can trim our comp to be the length of this because that's all we're really doing is animating this much. So to do the quick way to do that is if you hold down shift and click around here over the end of this, it'll lock to the end, and if you hit N on your keyboard, it'll change the preview area to just the area where the baby voiceover is. So our work area, I mean. And if you right click the work area bar, you can say trim comp to work area. This is a little trick I figured out, it makes things a lot faster. So just click that, and now our whole comp is just the length of the baby voiceover. And that's what we want. If you scroll this down, you'll see some settings here, and if you click the waveform, you can actually see the beats and where he starts talking, and sometimes I have this open so I can align my keyframes to it better. If you hold down command, you can scrub along and hear what's in the audio track at the same time. So we want his arms to kind of go down and up to the beat. So let's just move this to the middle of the beat. You can kind of see each beat is here. So it's like here, here, and here. So let's go down, up on one beat. And we can actually copy Command C, Command V, the old position, and do that here too. Select that one, Command C, Command V, so it's going down and up. And we want to do that same thing again, so we can actually select both of these because that's down and up again, and move to halfway between this and this beat, and press Command V. Oops. So it's going down and up again, and same thing for this one. Copy, Control C or Command C, and Command V for paste. So this is kind of his raise the roof action. Cool. So after this, let's just add a couple eye blinks in there. That's kind of the order I did things. So let's just move up to the left and right eye and hit scale S, and we'll just throw a blink in there right around here. So just hit the, if you have them both selected, you can hit the stopwatch and it'll add keyframe for both. And let's move one frame over, and let's scale the width. Oh, sorry. Make sure you check the chain link here so that we can just do one dimension. So let's kind of bring the eyes down to a squinty look there. 26. Let's bring them down a little more to 12. And then we'll move 2 frames over, and we'll add another keyframe. So if you want another keyframe, but you're not changing the value, you can just hit it here, and it adds another keyframe at 12%. And then move 1 frame over and change this again to 100 and 100. So if you scroll through this, you'll see it blinks, it holds for one, excuse me, and then opens again. So we got a blink. That's great. Now the second part is going to be his head moving and the him speaking the oh yeah part and the little hair. So to do that, we're going to be closely monitoring the voiceover track, and a little trick you can do. So scrub along until you hear the O, or you can see right here where it starts to get louder. Oh yeah. So right here, if you hit star on your numeric keypad, or multiply, or however you want to say it, it adds a little reference point here, which I use when I'm trying to line things up to audio. And if you double click that, you just write in here O, and then we'll move to the y. Y is right around here. So let's go y. Press star, add a little tracker marker, and go y, comment y, and then is right around here. So again, star, double click the marker and go So we'll be changing the mouth so that the mouths appear when these parts are. So let's, and we have all the mouth shapes here. So let's go in and open up, or turn on the eye for O, and drag it right over to the middle. And so we don't want the smiley face now because he's starting to say O. So what we'll do is, here's the mouth. Okay, we want to shut off the mouth. So there's 2 ways you can do that. You can turn the opacity down, or you can trim the layer. And let's just trim the layer. If you hold down Alt and you go right square bracket, it trims the layer to where your where this red line is. So let's just move it right to the red line. It tends to do one ahead, which I'm not sure why it does that, but so let's trim it right to where the O starts. And if you click the mouth O, we can trim this one as well by clicking Alt, left bracket. So now we have a mouth, and then right at the beginning where it says O, it changes to the O position of the mouth. And let's just keep going. Yeah, this is the yes mouth position. So let's move that right here. And let's trim this O, select the O layer, Alt right bracket, and select the Y and Alt left bracket. And just make sure that they're not overlapping. Bring one over. And let's just go and do the A right now. Let's just trim this guy and trim this guy here. So we just need to turn this one on and move it over. Oops. There we go. So that's pretty much it for the mouth. Let's just test it out. Just hit 0 to do a preview. So that looks pretty good. I kind of noticed that the yeah was a little late. So I'm just gonna move this one over one frame and this one over one frame. And I can move this and this over too, just so it matches. And let's try that. That looks pretty good. Cool, so we got the mouth done. Now we want to, let's add one more blink in. I kind of like it when he blinks. Let's have him blink after the oh yeah. Oh, actually no. Let's just take a look at the reference again. Okay, I only had a blink once, so let's just keep it like that. So now we need the mouth, or sorry, the head to be tilting back and forth for the O and the yeah. So a few frames before O, click the head and hit R. And you'll remember we parented all of this, so even the mouths, so we don't have to worry about positioning those at all, because they're all going to follow whatever this head's going to do. So hit a keyframe for rotation with the stopwatch, and then move it over a bit to where the O is, and just hit it, select, and just give it a little rotation to the left, O, and then we'll actually hold that. So let's just copy and paste that keyframe again, or you can just click this guy here, and it's pretty much copying the last value. And then let's move it over to the yeah, and just move it this way, and then we'll move it back straight again, or kind of straight there. So let's just try this out. I don't know if his head went straight again afterwards. No, yeah, it kind of looks weird. So let's just take off this last keyframe, just select it and hit delete, and it's gonna be like, oh yeah. So yeah, that's good. Cool, well, we're almost there. Now we have to do the hair, so it's kind of bouncing around, so it's not just stuck there. Let's just grab this hair and move, whoops. Grab the hair and just move it up a bit. And oh, did I forget to move the anchor point? Just move the anchor point if it's and not already done so, to the end. And this is kind of an animation technique that goes way back to Disney, and it's called geez, I don't even remember what it's called now, but basically things respond to there's like hesitation and reaction or something, or anyways, I'll just explain how I did it. What you want to do is the hair is going to keep moving, right? After the head stops, it has a kind of a bouncy nature to it. So let's just hit a rotation keyframe here, and you'll see that I'm not lining it up. We want it to keep rotating after the head stops. So let's just rotate that here to here, and we can hold that as well by just clicking the diamond here, and then after this one, let's go all the way here. So let's just preview that, see if it's yeah, so this is kind of what we want, but it's not looking quite right yet. We'll also need the hair to spring back, so let's just go a couple more frames and go back here. So it's, yeah, it's a little fast. Let's move it over. That looks pretty good. There's two different types of keyframes. There's these diamonds that are just linear keyframes, and then there's also easy ease, which are keyframes that smooth out the animation. So you kind of need that for this sort of bouncing effect, because it shapes the it accelerates and deaccelerates the motion, so you can get more of a springy look. So I won't get that's a really involved topic. I could do 2 hours tutorial just on that alone, but I'll just give you the basics on how to do it quickly. If you just select all the keyframes you want with easy ease, you can hit F9, but if you have a Mac, sometimes the F9 isn't set up properly. So if you just right click the keyframe, you can go keyframe assistant and just do easy ease, and you'll get these little different shape here, and that'll allow it to have more of a bouncing motion. So let's just preview that. So it's close. I think that this could be all moved over even more. This is trial and error. I never know exactly how to do it, but I just keep working it until it looks right. So let's try that. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. We're gonna just do the camera move now, and I'm sorry it's run on. This one's run on so long, but let's just finish her up. Okay, so go back into the main comp, and what we want to do here is parent the baby to the room, because we're going to scale up the room, but we want the baby to scale up as well. Before we do that, you'll notice that the baby comp here is just a few seconds long, and our room comp is 2 minutes long. So we're only really doing this one shot. So let's just do the technique I just showed you before on how to trim your comp. Excuse me. So hold down Shift and select near the end up here, and it'll lock to the endpoint. Hit N, and it brings the work area to where your red marker is, and then hit right click and select Trim Comp to Work Area. So now our comps are the right length, and yeah, you'll notice there's a speaker here now because it's bringing in the sound from that we're using from the baby. So the sound is imported as well into this comp. And let's scale this room, or sorry, let's parent the baby to the room with the pick whip. So baby is now parented to the room, and let's just do a slow camera pan inwards. So let's just hit scale. Before we hit scale, you'll notice that the room is scaling from this point here, which if we zoom out, that's the whole size of the room, and that's actually the center point. So let's just move this down so we scale from somewhere more around here. So hit Y, bring that anchor point down, and then hit a keyframe for scale, and we'll just go right to the very end and just scale it up just slightly. Doesn't have to be a lot. That's good. We can also do scale and position, so we can position it a bit too. So if you hit Shift P, it'll add position to our list of properties here. So just click position and go to the very end and just hit V and just move it so it's where you want to end up. So now we have like a zoom in for our camera. Yeah, we're almost there. In the next one, we'll be talking about motion blur and how to apply some effects to this animation. All right, I'll see you in that one.